let's get into our week 9 recap in the NFL here. And Grant, I'm going to throw a little bit of a slider on this on our surprise disappointing told you so team, because I think this one deserves we just talk about this. This is a mutual decision here.
Yep.
The surprise team unit, and we're going to go person this week, is going to be Josh Dobbs for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, I mean, without question.
What can't you say about this guy? The astronaut who was traded to the Vikings on Wednesday. It was his first time taking snaps. They had to take snaps just so the linemen could understand his cadence. He didn't know half of the receivers' names and was learning them on the fly in the huddle. KOC was telling him what to do through the helmet, and you know what he does? No one was going to hold this game against him. That if he was actually, nobody thought he was even going to play for that matter. And then Jaren Hall gets hurt, gets concussed, has to come in. No one was just like, let's just, see if he can compete, make it close. But you know what he did? He has his first comeback win against the 4th best defense in the NFL by some statistic thing, PFF, which, we don't take a lot of stock into. But when it's something like this, we'll push aside our bias and use it to defend our argument.
Well, when you're barely in Minnesota long enough to have a cup of coffee and 2 glazed donuts, I don't care if it's PFF, I don't care if it's ESPN, FBI, the Football Power Index. That's impressive. And before the game started, KOC and his offensive staff go up to Josh and they're like, "Hey, what plays are you comfortable with the terminology?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, any plays we installed this week." This week? So KOC's play sheet was cut down to probably about 15 plays.
Oh, and his best running back blew out his Achilles.
And KJ Osborne left with a concussion, more than likely.
Yeah. And they were already down without Justin Jefferson.
It's truly incredible. I mean, when Jaren Hall got hurt, let's be honest here, we all thought the game was over. This whole, you know what, play the game, anything can happen, you got to keep fighting. No, let's cut the crap here. Jaren Hall goes down, Dobbs gets the safety, Atlanta goes up 11-3. Let's be honest here, everyone's thinking, uh-oh, it's going to happen again. It's Josh Freeman against the New York Giants 2.0. This is going to be a disaster. But credit to Josh Dobbs and credit to KOC. He stuck to it. He was resilient. He didn't quit. There's multiple times he should have been sacked in this game. Not only his touchdown, that 4th and 7 on the last drive of the game, even the first touchdown to Madison, he got out of some nice pressure there. It was just absolutely incredible to see. And the fact that he actually pulled this off and this Vikings team didn't falter when he came into that game, it speaks volume to them. It's truly remarkable. This might be almost more impressive than Baker Mayfield last year, or just as impressive for what Baker did on Thursday against the Raiders.
Well, and I would argue that it is more impressive than for what Dobbs did, because nobody ever really had Josh Dobbs coming into the NFL. Anybody had really any high expectations or anything like that. Josh Dobbs was a tremendous college football player. He played a lot, which that experience, I think people are finally coming to the light that the more football you play, the more season, especially at the quarterback position, you're going to be there's not a whole lot that you haven't seen. It's just your ability to process. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick. And people can dispute or argue or like, yeah, he shouldn't have been. Was like, well, no, but he was, and he's shown moments this year and times. He won the Browns their first playoff game since since they folded
before they left to Baltimore. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's not like Baker Mayfield is some bona fide scrub, to quote Stephen A. Smith. I mean, Baker Mayfield's a serviceable player and put up 37 points against the Houston Texans yesterday.
Well, and then also Baker Mayfield played 3 full seasons at Oklahoma.
Yep.
that's probably close to 1,300, 1,400 passing attempts. And then his 3 years in Cleveland, the quick stint in Carolina, Baker Mayfield's seen almost every NFL defense you can throw at him. And also, nothing against KOC, but Sean McVay's a Super Bowl winning coach and a 2-time conference champion. Anytime I got that guy in my headset, I'm feeling pretty confident that we can go down,
Yeah.
and we can win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but again,
Josh Dobbs,
no shot against KOC. He is becoming an elite head coach in this league, and as we're seeing right now, Minnesota and Detroit are miles above Chicago and Green Bay. The NFC North literally just got flipped on its head. For the longest time, it was Green Bay's division. Chicago, they're like the New York Knicks. They had history on their side, but they're a fraud of an organization. They'll have a good year once every 7 years.
I think the Bears are they're worse because they've won one Super Bowl, and the last time before that they were actually worth anything was in the 1940s, where they still played with leather helmets.
And there was only 6 teams.
Exactly. That's how the Packers got most of their championships.
Hey, 4 Super Bowls, but 13 World Championships. Yeah, when there was 7 teams playing.
Yeah. But, we have